Sam Altman, the chairman at Y Combinator, is making a huge bet on new startup founders. While most investors focus on businesses that are already profitable, Sam is interested in startups at the idea stage. He sold his startup at an early age and focused on helping grow startups across the world. His success at Y Combinator is resounding. He joined Y Combinator when they only had investments in the United States. He opened it up to other regions across the world and grew the revenue of Y Combinator astronomically. Sam Altman is young and making it. At 35, he's already a Silicon Valley sensation. Hey everyone, and welcome to Booked, where we inspire others with inspiring stories. In today's video, we're going to go over the story of Y Combinator and talk about its chairman, Sam Altman. So make sure to watch this video till the end, because we're going to share with you the books that Sam Altman read along his amazing journey. Books that changed his life and that may change yours. But before getting to the middle of today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Y Combinator is a startup accelerator located at the heart of Silicon Valley in California. Since launching in 2005, it has backed over 2,000 companies comprising top companies like Stripe, Airbnb, Coinbase, Dropbox, Reddit, and many others. As of January 2021, Y Combinator's companies had a combined valuation of $300 billion. But how did the idea of Y Combinator come about? Who are the founders? The idea of Y Combinator traces back to this couple, Paul Graham and Jessica Livingston. In March 2005, Paul Graham was selling a web application he developed called ViaWeb. He was making a lot of money from ViaWeb and was comfortable with that. But his wife, Jessica Livingston, who was working as an investment banker in Boston, did not like her job. Paul decided to create a job for her. They talked about the idea of investing in startups since Jessica was already into investment banking. This comes as surprising because just a few months before launching Y Combinator, Paul Graham spoke at a Harvard Computer Society symposium, where he told a few college kids not to come to him for investments. Paul soon realized he was hasty about what he told the kids, as he would later discover their passion and ambition to start up businesses. So when his wife mentioned she did not like her work, he immediately proposed the idea of funding startups to her. She liked the idea and resigned from her job to run the business. Today, the rest is history. To kickstart Y Combinator, Paul invested $100,000 and invited his two friends, Robert Morris and Trevor Blackwell, and they invested $50,000 each into the business. Y Combinator started with a $200,000 investment in 2005. Y Combinator started with the name Cambridge Seed, but the founders realized the name made it look like they were only interested in startups from the Cambridge area, so they changed to Y Combinator to appeal to startups everywhere. Although Jessica worked as an investment banker, she did not understand the full dynamics of a startup business. In an interview, Jessica said they didn't know much about startup funding and wanted to learn on the job. Even Paul admitted he didn't take the first batch seriously. They just wanted to give it a shot. They decided to fund multiple startups and see what was working for each and learn from them all. Y Combinator started a program called Summer Founders Program and invited 8 startups for training and funding. The 8 startups Y Combinator started with went well, and it gave the validation for the founding fathers to grow the number of startups they funded. Today, they fund up to 60 startups at a go. Y Combinator has become a household name in the startup funding ecosystem, but it wouldn't be possible without the great people who led the organization at different phases. Today, we'll be looking at Sam Altman, who became the president of Y Combinator in February 2014 and helped take Y Combinator to the next level. Sam's work at Y Combinator. Sam Altman is an American investor, programmer, and blogger. His passion for tech dates back to when he received his first computer at the age of 8. He followed through with his passion for tech at that early stage, learned programming, and even went to Stanford to study computer science. He officially started his entrepreneurship journey at age 19, when his first company was Looped. Sam dropped out from Stanford to focus on building Looped. Even though he dropped out of college, he would later receive an honorary degree from Waterloo University for his work in the business ecosystem. Dropping out of college was a tradition for most successful startup founders in Silicon Valley. But for Sam, the story was different. Looped was a location-based social networking mobile application that connected people in the same location. Sam founded Looped during the era when Facebook and Twitter dominated the social media space, so gaining traction was tough. Even though Sam secured funding of up to $30 million to work on Looped, he later bowed to competition and sold Looped to Green Dot Corporation for $43.4 million. So how did Sam Altman become a president at Y Combinator? Sam's relationship with Y Combinator dates back to his days at Looped. Looped happens to be one of the first companies Y Combinator funded. While working on his startup, Sam also offered consulting services to other startups at the Y Combinator's program. He became an official part-time partner at Y Combinator in 2011. In 2012, after he sold a startup to Green Dot Corporation, he started a venture fund. But Sam soon realized he didn't want to be a venture investor. In an interview, Sam said he felt more accomplished funding new businesses than putting money on companies that had already achieved a level of success. Y Combinator happened to be doing the exact thing, helping founders who have just ideas succeed. Given Sam's similar interest in the work going on at Y Combinator, Sam joined Y Combinator and was made president of Y Combinator in 2014. As the president of Y Combinator, Sam Altman had the responsibility of running and scaling Y Combinator. Sam settled well into the job and helped scale the work of Y Combinator outside the United States. Few months after he became president, he announced that the combined valuation of the companies Y Combinator funded has grown to over $65 billion, which featured top companies like Airbnb, Dropbox, Stripe, and so on. Like the old saying, the reward for a job well done is more work. Sam left his role as Y Combinator president and became Y Combinator's group president. Y Combinator Group was the umbrella covering Y Combinator and the other units. Taking on new challenges. Sam Altman is having quite a ride at Silicon Valley. As president at Y Combinator, he invested in only 20 startups. He also has personal investments in over 50 companies. Some of the companies in his portfolio are Reddit, Airbnb, Stripe, and a host of others. Aside from his work at Y Combinator, Sam has also been involved in nuclear energy and his associations with Helium and Oklo, which are some of the world's top nuclear energy firms. Sam currently runs OpenAI, an organization he founded with Elon Musk. OpenAI is a research company ensuring artificial intelligence benefits humans. Sam's versatility and hard work is paying off. He is currently worth over $250 million and was named a top investor under 30 by Forbes in 2015. Sam Altman is still with Y Combinator, but in a chairman role to help him focus on his new work at OpenAI. Sam is only 35 years old, but already has so many accomplishments, we can only get excited for the new things he will achieve. Book recommendations. From building a startup to helping others build theirs, Sam is an inspiration to a lot of young founders. He earned himself a notable figure in Silicon Valley. We've listed a few books that reflect Sam's ideologies and the mindset that made him successful at Y Combinator and in his subsequent ventures. Let's start with his book, Startup Playbook, written by Sam Altman. If you're looking to start a business and raise funds, then this book is a must-read. Sam summarizes all of his work investing in startups in his book. He discussed all the key ingredients Y Combinator looks out for in a startup before investing in it. If you are new in the startup world, or perhaps wondering how to position your startup to receive funding from organizations like Y Combinator, then grab a copy of this book. Winning, written by Jack Welch and Susie Welch. This book teaches a wide variety of topics on how people can overcome tough personal and organization challenges. In this book, Jack Welch teaches business concepts and outlines the 4 principles everyone should adopt to have a successful organization. He also addresses some of the concerned employee faces in the work environment. The writer also teaches how to find work balance, how to work for a jerk, how to get promoted, how to think about strategy, and how to write a budget that works. While Sam Altman may be known as an investor, he's spending most of his career working for other people. Sam did not found Y Combinator, but he has become an integral part of the Y Combinator society. Read this book to understand how to achieve the same feats. Man's Search for Meaning, written by Viktor E. Frankl. This book will help you find strength and discover your purpose when things are going downhill. The writer reflects on his time at the Nazi camps. He explained the efforts people make to find a will or a purpose despite the adversities they faced. This book will convince you to be steadfast in your search for purpose and to be hopeful as you go about it. Sam Altman wants you to work hard, but also find significance in being alive. The Legend of Henry Ford, written by Keith Sward. This book looks into the life of Henry Ford. It explored how he achieved a breakthrough in the automobile industry. This book may be saying a lot about the automobile industry, but it represents the story of any entrepreneur who is trying to disrupt a sector or break into new fields. The book explained how Henry Ford fought with state regulators, patents, and labor unions, and became a force to be reckoned with in the early 1900s. You should read this book if you want to be resilient, dogged, and achieve the impossible, even in the face of impossibilities. Hackers and Painters, written by Paul Graham. In this book, Paul Graham, a founder at Y Combinator, advises on how young people can leverage technology to disrupt every sector. This book will shape your thought patterns. It'll help you assess how you live and use technology. This book is a masterpiece for anybody thinking about starting a business in the tech world. Replicate the ideologies that worked for Y Combinator in your life and business. Grab a copy of this book today. Founders at Work, written by Jessica Livingston. Jessica Livingston is a founder at Y Combinator. She studied the different successful startups they funded and even the other startups outside their network and discovered a similar pattern that led to their success. If you often think of how founders came up with their ideas that made them wealthy, for instance, how Steve Jobs came up with Apple, then think no more. In this book, Jessica understands successful founders, what they did right or wrong, and suggests how founders can learn from their experiences. To conclude, we want to leave you with a quote from Sam Altman. Build a product so good that users tell their friends. This quote reflects one of the things Y Combinator looks out for when funding startups. So here's a quick test for you. Are you building a startup? Is your product or service good enough that people who use it would want to tell their friends? If yes, then well done. But if not, get back to the drawing board.